You know, you can find a lot of really wonderful stuff on the web. Murder, rape, death, destruction.
What kind of sick shit are you looking on there?
You don't need to see what I'm looking at, Bob. You don't need to.
Are you looking at the dark web?
For my eyes only. You don't need to see shit.
Yeah. If I see you've been murdered on the 6 o'clock news, then I'll know why.
Or I could be murdering somebody. No, I'm not murdering nobody.
He's harmless.
I'm harmless. Guys, welcome to a brand new movie review where we talk about Unfriended, Dark Web.
Yeah.
And the sequel to the first Unfriended movie. Now, you and we saw the first Unfriended film together. Of course, it was before we were doing these.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what did you think of that first film?
Well, I mean, the first one, it was all supernatural type. And, you know, you get to really know the characters in that one, which you find out they're really a bunch of assholes.
Oh, my God. There was no likable character in that first Unfriended.
Deserve what they got.
Yeah. I mean, was the movie terrible? No, the movie wasn't terrible. It was okay.
The supernatural parts just didn't really pull it off in the film.
No, and again, because nobody was likable, I could really give two fucks about anybody. I was just waiting
to see who was going to get killed first. I mean, you could have started school for that one.
You were like, okay, who's going first? Asshole 1, 2, 3?
I mean, in these types of films, you usually think, there's no way anybody's going to survive this type of film.
No, nobody's surviving. Nobody's surviving shit. So, yeah, look, that first movie, it is what it is. It wasn't great, but you know what? I mean, as far as, like, the kind of premise stuff goes with it, it was kind of unique for the time that it came out, regardless. And other films came out that tried to, you know, Friend Request.
Which I thought was better than that movie.
Really?
I thought Friend Request was a lot better than the first Unfriended.
Well, I mean, but my thought about it was this. My thought is like, okay, I thought, well, we got that one Unfriended film. No need for a sequel. Why even go there for a sequel?
I think they realized the supernatural route for the first one wasn't good enough. They figured they gotta make it more realistic. That's why they did this one.
Right off the bat, I will say this. I like this movie more than the first one.
Yeah.
I will say that one. I like the ideas behind it.
I mean, there is a lot of shit going on with the dark web. You know, you got all that type of weird, you know, like killings and kidnappings and all that type of stuff.
And the dark web's real.
Yes.
So it's not like this is a supernatural thing. The dark web's real. And people are doing really messed up, dangerous, illegal stuff and wants no part of it. Now, my thought also is that, you know, look, I didn't really love the trailers for this film, so I was a little skeptical about it. But, I mean,
I wasn't expecting much out of this film. So.
I wasn't expecting much out of the film either. Where do you want to start with Dark Web, sir?
I don't really know any of the actors' names.
No, offhand, I don't know anybody.
I mean, I know the one actress who plays Amaya, the deaf girl. I've seen her in some other stuff. I just don't remember her actual name.
I will say this. I think all the acting was pretty decent overall. Yeah. I thought it was pretty decent, and big change over the last film. These characters are actually likable.
Yeah.
There was no, unless you thought somebody was an asshole, and I didn't think anybody was.
The problem is some of the characters you don't get to see them enough in the film in order to get a form of opinion.
Okay, that's true. You don't really get to know them enough. You get little bits and pieces about them, but regardless, that you don't get much.
I mean, the main guy in the movie basically... Are we going to do spoilers, or just give you a gist of what's going on?
We'll do a little bit of spoilers. Fine.
I mean, in the beginning of the movie, he's like, he already starts to lie off with his friends, like, oh, I got a new laptop, you know, it's really fast. I mean, it's got a couple bugs in it. But he basically tells a lie right there is because he working at a coffee shop or cyber cafe.
Yeah, he was going to work on a project in the cyber cafe, and basically...
He found a laptop in the
Lost and Found. Yeah, and basically he was like, hey, no one's been picking this up for 3 weeks. Okay, fine. You know, I'll take it. what he didn't realize is that
this is dark web bait right there.
Dark web bait, and the thing about it is that there's all these files and all these weird
Video
things
type shit.
Of like various
watching people, you know, watching through a webcam to something.
Various girls getting kidnapped, all this stuff, and it's just one of those things.
Once weird, kind of a really sick one, for my opinion, is where they're watching over an infant. I'm like, who the fuck buys that kind of shit?
It's really bizarre, weird shit, and it just is one of those things where basically, this person who kidnapped this one girl, he gets her.
I want my laptop back.
He wants the laptop back, and he's now basically going to play a game with them until he gets the laptop back. And then on top of that, you have these other people who are also part of this dark web sort of this sick, twisted game, and they get in on it as well, and it's just messed up for all these people.
I mean, the only thing I could really say I did not like about this film, mind you, my vision's not perfect at all, but at least in the last movie, when they're like typing stuff and you can actually see it on screen, compared to where we were sitting, I mean, I could barely make out half the stuff they were typing.
There's a lot of stuff early in the film where they're doing like instant messaging stuff on Facebook. And I gotta tell you, that stuff, no lie, it was so hard to look at it. I was trying to squint my eyes and like lean up to try to look at it, and it was so difficult to see it. I think that stuff was really not that great. But once it started to get into more not Facebook stuff, I think it got better. But that first go, I think, like first 20, 25 minutes?
I'd say about half an hour.
Half hour or so, you were like squinting to try to find
I'm like,
and
what
see
was
stuff.
they typing? I mean,
it was very difficult to see what they were typing. As far as the actual, like, horror stuff goes,
it was kind of, in a lot of ways, very bland.
I will say it was bland. You're not wrong, because to me, I was watching it and I was like, I was
expecting more gore.
God, it's been so long. Was there more gore in the first Unfriended?
I mean, they keep doing that, like, visual, like in the movie, in this one, where the guy's, like, walking around talking on the camera, he's, like, all distorted through the camera.
I don't know about you, but I kind of didn't like that shit. Like,
I mean, I can understand that, you keep it out dark every time he's walking around so you can just get a visual of him.
Yeah.
But the whole distorting thing, I wasn't buying it, because they did that in the first one for some of the scenes.
Yeah, it was all distortion for
I can understand if that was like a supernatural thing.
I mean, I understand how it's meant to play in the film, which is basically like, oh, hey, this is when bad shit is happening, is when it's kind of going this way. I get it, but it still wasn't effective to me.
I mean, when they do, like, you see on the news, like, oh, they're doing a scrambler on somebody's face so you can't see the actual face and all that type of thing.
Yes, that would be much, much better. And look, I will say this. I think I liked the death scenes. I personally did. Because they felt like they felt like you were almost being a voyeur, like you were being a voyeur and you were watching somebody getting actually killed or something, and it actually was really effective to me. Yeah, I thought that was effective to me as well. I mean,
the one thing I say was impressive about this movie is how well. I mean, I understand they laid a trap for these people, and they're like watching them out from no matter where they were.
Yeah, whether it was London or wherever.
It's like, I mean, this takes top precision to get that well done.
Ooh, it does, and there's a lot of people involved in it, and
well, it's like when that one guy, the main guy, says like, "Oh, they can't get to him. He's all the way in London." I'm like, how do you know they don't have people in London?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, really? You're gonna just assume he's safe? Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't bet on it.
I kind of think the main guy was a little cocky too. He's like, he thought he was gonna like, oh, if you do this and do this, everything's gonna be fine. You'll leave us alone. I'm like, you're messing with people from the dark web. They don't fuck around.
He's automatically, and this is again, you were already stupid taking this laptop when you probably shouldn't have taken a fucking laptop.
He later fucks with the guy's money. I'm like, you're fucking with a guy who kills people or kidnaps people alive through video.
Well, my thing about it is like, okay, you know, fine, you had to take that laptop, but I guess there's not a Best Buy in your area. Like, is there not a Best Buy or a like?
He's probably poor from the look of the way he's living.
Or maybe like a pawn shop. Like really?
It's not
like,
that hard. I mean,
I'm like, what the fuck?
He's like, oh, my old laptop was so slow. I'm like, get the speed up program, something.
Do something. Fuck it.
Get the chips that upgrade your speed on your computer.
Well, now he no longer was able to do that.
I mean,
he's gonna
by the time you get to near the end of the movie, it's like, I'm like, there's no way they're letting this guy live.
I mean, first of all, the thing about it is he was kind of like thinking, oh, well, he's going to get the laptop and then this other guy will get the money and I'll get the girl and basically they're going to leave us alone. Dude, you saw video, you saw stuff, you were never going to fucking last. Trust me.
When they find out, when he got to the point where his friend told him, oh, they were playing us, they were baiting us, I'm like, dude, you knew right there you're already fucked.
I mean, dude, you're already fucked.
I mean, the one I felt the most sorry for was the main guy's girlfriend, because she didn't know what the fuck was going on at the whole time.
Yeah, this chick, I felt so sorry for her because she has no idea what's going on whatsoever, and he's just trying to protect her. And oh man,
she ends up walking into a kill scene. I'm like,
oh Jesus, man, I felt
and
so.
She never even saw it coming either.
No, she never saw it coming. It was like completely blindsided, and it's like, oh man. And
I don't know. It's these types of movies. It's just not. They're not easy to do.
They're not easy to do. Like I said, these are likable characters, but the problem is that a lot of times. And this is a big thing with me with horror films, but I get it, is that characters have to be stupid. And
well, it's like the second the last person dies, like, oh, I made copies, you know, I got video files and stuff, you know. It's like, you didn't think they already thought of that kind of stuff ahead of time? You figure they're gonna have somebody on standby to take your ass out? I
mean, come on, bro.
He must have either caught. I mean, these guys catch all these characters off guard. I'm like, they didn't put up a fight at all? I mean, oh man. It's just like, oh, he's dead. How'd he die? Oh, he drank too much water.
Too much water, too much something. I mean, they poison the water, you know? I mean, it's like, to me, I think there's moments in the movie that I really like, and I guess the likable characters, and I thought the death scenes were interesting, and I like the idea of going into this sort of dark internet where all bets are off, and I like those concepts. I think the movie has interesting ideas and points, and there's some real genuine interesting things, but it kind of falls a little bit short at times.
I mean, I will say this was an improvement over the last film.
And I think it is an improvement. I will say this much. It's just
like, you know, the end game is no one's going to survive this. I mean,
you do know no one's going to survive it, and
because there's no way they're going to leave any witnesses.
No, and you know that pretty much they just are basically like, you know what? At this point, we're just fucking with you guys, and
we're just biding our time to see who's gonna be the last one to play it out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just gonna be one of those things where,
I mean, it would have been an interesting twist if one of his friends was actually part of that group or something.
That would have been interesting. That would have been
hell,
an interesting.
Even the girlfriend was just like, you weren't expecting someone like that.
That would have been an interesting twist. The unfortunate thing is you don't really get any kind of major twist in this film. Not like you always need a twist, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, really?
I mean, it's kind of terrifying how well this group is, because they managed to get to every character. You know, they were practically near every character. I mean, there's one scene where you're watching a girl waiting in the subway, I'm like, and you see a guy, you see somebody behind, I'm like, of course it's got to be that person.
I know, it's really obvious at times. I mean, look, if you guys like that first Unfriended film, I'm not gonna lie, you probably will kind of enjoy this one. I think it's just a little bit better of a film, but again, these type of films, as you said, they're not easy to do, man.
No.
And they're just really difficult.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this kind of reminds me of the Hostel movies.
Ooh, oh, okay.
You know, like a dark society doing this type of stuff.
Okay, you know what? I will actually agree with you on that. It does have a vibe of like these people playing with these other people and sort of messing with them, but before they kill them. Yeah, okay, I do kind of see it. I think those Hostel films are better than this one. I do agree with that. But I mean, what are your final thoughts and grade rating on Unfriended Dark Web?
Covered pretty much everything.
Most of what we wanted to, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really. I mean, this movie wasn't. This wasn't like a superb movie or wasn't a horrible movie. It's just like somewhere. It's
just kind of average. It's kind of average, yeah.
I mean, at best, I could give this movie. There wasn't really anything that really made me jump out. It was even. You know, I'm kind of a sadistic person, and you know, I like seeing people get killed on screen.
Yeah, I know your type.
I'm a child of the '80s. I grew up watching horror films. Hell, I cheer on the bad guy more than I do the good guy.
Yeah, I know. I've been with you in many theaters watching horror films. I know.
I mean, this movie is. I mean, I can't say I'm glad people got killed in this film because this is. This kind of touched bases in real life type.
You were
shit.
kind of laughing and smiling though.
Well,
I did
just like
see
waiting.
it.
It's like, oh, who's gonna get killed first? You know, it's kind of trying to predict who's gonna bite the dust. I mean, this movie was okay, average. It wasn't great. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't really anything that made it pop for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an improvement over the last one. I forgot what I gave.
Oh, what we would have even given the first one, God knows, maybe somewhere in the D territory, I would say.
Yeah, I'd have to say this one was slightly better. Probably have to give it. Probably an average C. Average C?
Look, I agree with you. I think this film is better than that first film. I like the concept. I like the ideas. I like the death in it. I think that there's interesting moments in the film. I think otherwise the film just is kind of flat and a little bit lifeless, and there's far better films out there, far better death scenes, far better concepts, but if you're looking for, you know, a simple hour and a half, just time waster of a horror film, you can do worse. But I mean, it's not terrible.
There's a lot worse out these days.
Oh yeah, trust me, a lot of straight to DVD stuff, and maybe this could have even been straight to DVD too. But my grade rating is I'm going to give it a low C. Yeah, so we're very close. And again, I mean, I can't wait for the third Unfriended film, right? We're gonna get a third one? Yeah? Hey?
Unfriended 3, The Purge.
Oh boy. Oh god, please don't combine those two. I'm gonna look up more of my secret dark web stuff that you don't have to look at, so don't worry about it. It's
more like porn for him.
That's just as effective.
Oh, Jesus.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And me and the big man over here will be back for another movie review. Don't look at me like that. You're way too sadistic for my helping.
You're terrifying with that computer in your lap.
Oh boy. Take care, guys.